Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our Talks to Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those that are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development and in addition to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about self-compassion, the key to overcoming self-criticism. This video is going to be able to help you reduce anxiety, ease that self-criticism, that self-doubt, that voice in your head, right? And build that acceptance in regards to building practical strategies to be able to help you in your daily life, right? So it's really hard for us to navigate this journey when we're hard on ourselves, right? That self-sabotage. We already know that it's a negative world that we're in. Every time we step outside our comfort zone, our house, our homes, leaving our warm beds, you know what I mean? It's different. I mean, it's difficult out there, especially with the social medias, all these news, all these things coming our way, right? And then you have school, you have work, you have all these people. You know what I mean? I made a video about microaggressions, different things and energy and emotions that people are kind of projecting on you. We have to be more aware of what's more important is what we're telling ourselves. You know what I mean? And for us to be able to navigate, we really got to be able to have a more positive mindset, be more at ease, be more kind, and self-compassion is going to be what's we're talking about today. So please stick with me and we're going to dive into that. So why are we hard on ourselves, right? So often we're kind to, you know what I mean, our friends or others out there more than we're often kind to ourselves, right? So when it was a friend, for instance, that failed or something that kind of transpired, we're prone to just comfort them, right? But when it comes to us, our inner voice, our inner critique was what takes over usually. So self-compassion is a skill that quiets that inner voice, right? To be able to help you grow and, you know, avoid from you tearing yourself down. So I ask you guys to have self-compassion and avoid that self-critique that's trying to, you know what I mean, self-sabotage and talk about all the stuff that you don't even really know what's going on, right? It just pops in different moments, right? So one key point I want to discuss with you is going to be self-criticism, which fuels that anxiety, shame, and burnout, right? So self-compassion treats yourself with the same kindness that you often would give, you know, your loved one. So in regards to some research insight, self-compassion is strongly linked to lower levels of anxiety and depression and higher resilience, right? So it's really going to help you navigate when, like I said, you're sprinkling positivity into yourself, you're being kind to yourself, you're letting yourself know when it's times that are challenging, times of difficulty, you're kind to yourself and you're doing the best that you can. You feel me? So let's dive into our next segment. We're going to be talking about what self-compassion is and, you know, getting more into detail, right? So the first key point is self-kindness. So you're replacing harsh judgment with gentleness, right? So you're being, like I said, I don't know how many times I gotta say it, kind. Like you're just using kind words. Same way you would treat a baby, right? You got to kind of have the same approach to yourself, right? Because that's what's going to help you to transcend to get where you need to be with that positivity, right? Than being harsh to yourself. Another key point is going to be common humanity, right? So recognizing that mistakes and struggles are part of being human. These things happen, you know what I mean? God didn't put us on this planet to be perfect, you know what I mean? He put us on this planet to improve, right? So look at our circumstances, looking at ways we're able to, you know what I mean, look at ourselves and improve. And I'm telling you right now, be kind to yourself and you're going to really see things change. Mindfulness, in addition, is noticing negative thoughts without being consumed by them, right? So you recognize these things, you know what I mean? That's why it's important to get that journal, right? Write these things down so you're able to note and really reflect on them. Be like, yo, like, this has been happening for a week now. Like, what's really going on? Like, let's get checked out, right? So the same thing that you would notice if you woke up in the morning, you have a bump on your leg, whatever, and you're like, this been here for 2 days now, whatever it may have been, or even longer. You're gonna get it checked out. So you really want to kind of be intuitive with yourself, you know. And mindfulness is going to be able to help you do that when you get away from the noise and you have solitude, which is that personal alone time that's catered for you, right? So according to research by Dr. Kristen Neff's model of self-compassion highlights these three pillars are essential to emotional well-being, right? So self-compassion, mindfulness, you know, realizing that, you know, humanity, recognize I'm a human, I'm gonna make mistakes, I fall down, I'm gonna get back up, I have the ability to improve, and just being kindness. These models are gonna be able to help you develop that emotional well-being so you have peace of mind. So I'm hoping that you realize, you know, being kind to yourself is something that is doable, it's manageable, and it's practical. We can practice this on the daily. So I'm asking you to take this into consideration. Our next segment, we're going to be talking about why we struggle with self-compassion. Key point number one is going to be many people, you know, believe self-criticism was motivation, but often causes paralysis. Next is going to be cultural messages about perfection and achievement discourages self-kindness, right? Next is going to be fear that self-compassion equals weakness or laziness, but research shows the opposite. Good morning. According to research insights, self-critical individuals experience higher stress and lower life satisfaction, right? So people that are always critical of themselves, hard on themselves, using that negativity in their world to boost them up. You know what I mean? It's not helping you, it's giving you more stress. So I really want us to take this in consideration. And like I said, do a self-assessment. Next segment we're going to talk about is practical ways to practice self-compassion, right? So number one, off the rip, is notice the inner critique. Like I said, what's going on with me? Think about what's going on with you, right? So catch the critical thoughts, right? I'm not good enough. I always fail. Why is it always me? Like really think about where's the inner circle coming from. And you're able to kind of realize and pull these things out. And I keep saying too, is write these things down, document what's going on, right? So you're able to really track what's really going on in your mind, how your feelings are, right? Number two is going to be flip the script. Ask yourself, right? What would I say to a close friend in this situation? What would I say to a loved one in this situation, right? And like I said earlier, is that we're able to have that positivity and help other people out and be kind and treat people like we're nurturing a baby, right? Why can't we have that to ourselves? So I'm asking us to pause, reflect, be kind, love, you know what I mean? We here to ourselves. Number three is going to be self-compassion break, Neff exercise, right? So pause, breathe, and repeat. And it's funny because I had this flow out before I even jumped to this, right? But this is hard, you know what I mean? I'm not alone, but I can be kind of myself, right? So when we kind of just break it down and repeat, repetition, as we know, practice makes preparation, feel me? So the same way we're able to dribble a ball when practicing, you know what I mean? We're getting nice, we're hitting that same shot, right? We got to do the same thing to ourselves in regards to practicing, you know what I mean, with these breaks and chopping things down, and we're able to, you know, accomplish whatever we want to accomplish, right? So I'll say it again, pause, breathe, and repeat. Next, we're going to be talking about number four, is journal with kindness, right? So like I said, write these things down, really get your own personal perspective. And, you know, this could really be beneficial, right? And this could be a support beneficial towards a friend, right? Is able to see your perspective. You can share this with other people potentially, and like I said, even for yourself, personal development journal of growth, you're able to see that for yourself. And according to research insights, even a brief self-compassion exercise can reduce that stress and inner emotional resilience, right? In regards to increasing that. So this is really what's going to help you navigate through times of difficulty, being kind to yourself when you're working out, when you just started, you know what I mean? Things is challenging. This is being kind to yourself is going to help you keep coming back, right? So I'm letting you know positivity is going to help you. Fourth segment, we're going to be giving you real life application, right? So like I said, I just gave you some practical things, but let's get more in depth, right? So an example is going to be at work, school. Instead of saying, I failed this test, I'm useless, I ain't good at this, is whatever, is reframe, like I said, change it to positivity, is this was tough, but it doesn't define my worth. I can learn from it, I can improve, right? So embrace that. In relationships, for instance, instead of I'm always mess up at things, I'm always dumb, like always, you know what I mean? Why am I always, you know what I mean? Reframe. Everyone makes mistakes. I can repair from this. I can get better, right? I made a video about, you know what I mean, breaking up and stuff like that too. This is what happens. It's part of life. We can, you know what I mean, it doesn't define us. We can improve. We can get better, right? And evaluating, the pros and cons, our behavior, being more self-aware helps us even more, right? So moving to the next example is going to be within yourself, right? So instead of saying I'm not good enough, I've reframed that with positivity and say I'm growing and my growth takes time. You know what I mean? Good things take time, right? A prompt I want to be able to ask you guys is think of, you know, a recent mistake and how can you reframe with self-compassion instead of self-criticism, right? So I'm thinking about a time when you was, you know what I mean, hard on yourself, when things was tough, you was down and out, you was tore from the floor up, and you was, you know, cruising with that and you was in that world, right? So now think about a way that you're able to implement this compassion as we talked about to be able to reduce that stress off of you so you're able to, you know what I mean, get where you need to be with the more energized, positive mindset, right? So I'm gonna give you the moment, pause if necessary, but you know, let's proceed. Right, so number 5, in regards to our next segment, we're going to be talking about when self-criticism creeps back in. Because like I said, as we're navigating through this world, we're navigating through different circumstances, sometimes, you know, we may take a break, we may fall off, things do happen in life, and, you know, things can creep back in. So let's just, you know what I mean, dive into some key points. So self-criticism is a habit it will return, but we don't have to believe it, right? So we have to realize that we have the real voice. We control the things. This is our brain. We control the steering wheel. We tell what we want to tell. And we practice, like I said, think good things will happen when we build that habit, right? So you don't got to believe that inner voice, right? That doubt, compassion, right? So like I said, practice makes preparation, right? But compassion is a practice, not perfection. So, you know what I mean? Just be kind to yourself, practice it. You don't have to be perfect at it. All right, so every time you choose kindness, you strengthen your resilience, right? So you're practicing yourself, you're putting yourself in a higher vibration, and you're leveling up yourself mentally, right? By, kindness. When it comes to research, insight, self-compassion protects against perfectionism and supports healthier coping strategies, right? So like I said, you're on the positive side, you're navigating with kindness, and this energy is radiating in you, and it's helping you, like I said, level up, and people will recognize it too, and you'll be able to help them as well. But like I said, do make sure you're practicing, you're writing these things down, and overall you're going to see those changes when you're more intuitive with yourself. In regards to choosing kindness over criticism, your inner critic does not run your life, right? It does not have the show. It ain't the star. You are the star, right? So self-compassion isn't a weakness. It's a strength, right? So it helps you face challenges with courage. You are, your backbone. You could bounce back from the setbacks and accept yourself as human that you are, right? So we fall down, we can get back up. Things happen. Our mind, just like computer, things happen, right? Like viruses and different things that come through our mind, right? But we have to have, like I said, that self-awareness and know what's good with us, and that self-care regimen, taking care of ourselves and being intuitive and being kind, and overall we'll be able to navigate. So hopefully this video was beneficial. If you found it was beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible, comment if necessary, right? And I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.